evening, Houston, Texas. Welcome to Physical Science at 5, the news report of the day. We have a breaking news story coming out of San Diego, California this morning, approximately 8:35 in the morning. Earthquake magnitude of about 5.8 occurred. Early reports of damages include 15,000 in building damage and structural damage, as well as 15 injuries. So we thought it'd be a good idea for us today to bring all of our viewers in and talk about the damages and why things happen the way they do and in the places that they do with these earthquakes and things that occur with the earth. So we're going to talk a little bit about today the history of the earth's interior, the genetic makeup of the earth, and the different types of plates that we have going on in the earth that cause these occurrences to happen. With me today we have my co-anchors Miranda and Patience. We have Cody as well, and then we also have Janae as our correspondent in the field. So stay with us, and right now we're going to end up sending it out to Janae in the field. We're going to talk about the history of the interior and get everybody caught up on where we are today. Janae?
Thank you, Coy. The history of the interior is mainly 4 different spherical shells: the inner core, outer core, mantle, and the crust. The inner core is solid nickel and iron. The outer core is liquid nickel and iron. The mantle is thick, thin silicate crust, and the crust is thick, thin silicate rock. The diameter of the interior is 12,756 kilometers. The temperature is even hotter than the sun's surface. The intense temperature of the interior causes material in the upper mantle and the core to move around. The movement of the upper mantle causes plates and the earth's surface to shift. And that's all I have for you, Coy. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Janae. What a good job you're doing in the field over there, updating us on the history of the interior a little bit. Right now we're going to send it over to Miranda here to talk a little bit about the crust.
Alright, here's a little bit about the crust. The crust is a thin skin that covers the whole earth. Out of all the layers on the earth, the crust is the thinnest layer. The crust is made up of 3 rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. We have Patience here with a lot of knowledge about the mantle. What do you know about the mantle?
Well, the mantle is in the middle of Earth's interior. It is about 80% of Earth's total volume. And also, the mantle is composed of silicates, predominantly ferromagnesian silicate, olivine, and that's basically the main points of the mantle.
Welcome back to Physical Science at 5,
Hello.
Houston, Texas. We have Patience here with us. Cody has joined us in the studio as well. Cody's going to talk to us a little bit about the core of the earth.
So today we're going to be covering the aspect of the core and concepts of the core. The earth has an internal core structure, and it's made up of 15% of the earth's volume. The core is also called the central part, and it's mostly made up of iron and nickel. And that's pretty much wraps up the core. Now back to you, Corey.
Okay, as far as the detailed structure, the earth has 3 main zones or 3 main structures within it in the interior. So we have the crust, below that we have the mantle, and on the innermost interior of the earth is going to be the core. The crust is the outer shell of the earth, which has the lithosphere in it. So that's where our plates are going to be on, and we'll talk about later with our plate boundaries and everything. As far as the mantle goes, below that crust is going to be the mantle. It's much thicker than the crust, one of the biggest parts of the interior of the earth. And inside of that, we're going to have the core. The core is made up of mostly nickel and iron. A lot of convection and everything happens in the core, within that. As far as the detail of our plates, for our earth, our planet, we have 2 different types of plates. We have oceanic plates and we have continental plates. Oceanic plates tend to be much more dense than continental plates because of the fact that it has these oceans and bodies of water pressing down with a lot more pressure than the air does on the earth. So the denseness of the water is pressing down on this crust and plates in the ocean. So that's why these oceanic plates are going to be a lot more dense than these continental plates. And we're going to turn it to Cody here. He's going to talk about the lithosphere in general and the plate boundaries.
So pretty much we have 2 types of boundaries. One is the divergent boundary, and the second is the convergent boundary. So the lithosphere plates, it's the rigid outer shell of the earth, and that's what is called the lithosphere. The lithosphere is broken into a series of moving plates, and the boundary between the 2 plates can be divergent boundaries or convergent boundaries, and they transform the boundary. So the lithosphere is composed of the crust and some of the upper mantle as well. And also, things we didn't know about earthquakes, like the earth is an active planet, we know that its surface is composed of many individual plates that move on and interact, throughout the earth, and it constantly changes and reshaping Earth's outer layer. So earthquakes result from the movement of plate tectonics and tectonic plates. And that pretty much sums up the lithosphere and plate tectonics and boundaries. Now back to you, Corey.
Thank you, Cody. That was a lot of good and detailed information about the lithosphere plates and boundaries. Right now, we're going to turn it over to Janae, our correspondent in the field. She's going to talk to us a little bit about divergent boundaries. Janae?
Boy, divergent plate boundaries are places where plates are coming apart. When the lithosphere is pulled apart, typically breaks along parallel faults that are typically slightly out from each other. As the plates separate along the boundary, the block between the faults crack and drop into the thermosphere, which generally creates rifts, such as East African Rift Valley and the Rio Grande. And the magma seeps upward to fill those cracks. When the new crust forms along the boundary, it causes earthquakes normally. And volcanoes form where the magma reaches the surface. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you for that, Janae. Now we'll have Miranda with the convergent boundaries.
All right, the convergent boundaries occur between two plates that are moving towards each other. Collisions happen, which cause an elongated belt called subduction zone. The lithosphere of one plate is which contains the crust is subducted beneath the second plate. It will partially melt and become part of the mantle. That is all for the convergent boundaries.
Well, with transform boundaries, the plates are sliding horizontally past each other along a vertical fault, and crust is neither created or destroyed with these boundaries. And the Pacific plate, for example, is moving slowly to the northwest, sliding past the North American plate, and that plate is the infamous San Andreas fault where the earthquake happened today. And Cody will give you more about what is going on with that now.
Thank you, Patience. So we're pretty much going to talk about the present day and aftermath. You know, we're sending the FEMA and emergency teams out right now to, you know, help and kind of clean up and just kind of help the ones in need. What people don't realize is this earthquake was unsudden. It happened unexpectedly. So a lot of people lost their homes and lost their loved ones. And what we have to just be concerned the most about is the people who survived the earthquake. You know, they will eventually have signs of post-traumatic stress and suffer from depression, and many will even wake up, you know, just thinking that they're still in an earthquake. So if you would like to help or just save just anyone, you know, in need, please log on to our website at www.thephysicalscienceat5.com, and on your right-hand corner, there's going to be a GoFundMe link that you can add and donate anything and just, you know, just help us out. So please, you know, please keep your ears and eyes concerned and open, and please stay tuned. Thank you from all of us.
Thank you.